Hello and welcome to this culturebox webinar. My name is Victoria Tischler and I'm Professor of Arts and Health at the University of West London. Thank you for watching. In this webinar, we'd like to tell you more about the culturebox project, and we hope that this will interest you and that you'll want to get involved. I'm going to start by introducing the project to you, and then I'm going to hand over to my colleague Julian West, who'll tell you a little bit more about the cultureboxes. If you have any questions after the webinar, please don't hesitate to contact one of the team. We'll provide you with the information at the end of this webinar. And if you require the information in a different format, please let us know and we'll provide that for you. I'd like to now introduce some of my colleagues working on culturebox with me. Firstly, Julian West.
Hello, yes, so my name's Julian. I'm a musician and a researcher, and I'm going to be thinking particularly about the music and the artistic content of the boxes. Thanks.
And also Vanessa Otim.
Hello, I'm the curatorial and production assistant for the project.
Thank you both. And there's lots of others of us working on the project, and you can find out more if you'd like to get in contact with us. So just to tell you a little bit about the project, culturebox is an 18-month project funded by the UK Research and Innovation Fund. And the aim of the project is to support care home residents and staff during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. We're going to do this by providing culture boxes that contain up-to-date public health information about the pandemic, along with interactive creative activities. And all of these have been specially designed for people living with dementia. If you decide to take part, the culture boxes will be delivered to you on a weekly basis for 12 months. Everything we send to you has been designed to be engaging, interesting for residents with dementia and care staff, and for you to do together. We've worked really closely with a co-design group, and that group has included care home staff, people living with dementia, healthcare professionals, artists, and family carers to develop suitable activities. The culturebox team has got lots of previous experience of developing public health information, especially for people with dementia, and of working extensively with people living in care homes using the arts. Each care home taking part will be supplied with a culture box, which is the storage box to keep all your materials safe and organised. We're working closely with our partners at the National Activity Providers Association to identify and recruit 40 care homes from across England. We really wish to include people from Black and Asian communities as part of the project. This is because these communities have been disproportionately negatively impacted by the pandemic and have experienced higher rates of death and illness compared to the rest of the population. So a little bit more about getting involved in the research project. In each of the care homes that take part in the project, we'd like 5 pairs to take part. Each pair will include a member of care staff or an activity worker and a resident living with dementia. As the project is a research project, we really need to have informed consent from everyone that takes part. The aim of informed consent is to make sure that people have all the information they need in order to make a decision about whether to take part in the research. Should the capacity of residents in the care homes fluctuate during the project, we'll then use process consent. And we'll give you more information about different types of consent and the ways that we're planning to take consent from participants, which will be explained to you in information that we'll make available and send to you after this webinar. The main thing for now is for you to let us know if you're interested in taking part in the project. And just to tell you a little bit more about the research in a nutshell, the research is a really important way for us to find out whether the activities and the information that we provide in the culture boxes is useful and effective for you. The research is also a way that you can influence the study, because your feedback will really help us to understand what works and what doesn't work and what to include in the boxes as the study progresses. If you agree to take part in the research, we'll contact you at least twice, once at the beginning of the study to complete a survey, and once at the end of the study to complete another survey. A member of the research team can help you with this if you wish. We'll also ask some of the people who decide to take part to get involved in other activities, like interviews with some of our research staff, and to take notes and make other reflections about the project. We'll give you more information and guidance if you choose to take part in these other activities. And just to reassure you that myself and the culturebox team will work really closely with you throughout the project. Now we're going to tell you a little bit more about the culture boxes and the public health materials and creative activities that are contained in the boxes. So I'll hand over to my colleague, Julian.
Thanks very much, Victoria. As you know, my name's Julian. I'm Julian West. Thanks again also for joining this webinar, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the actual culture boxes themselves. So we're aiming to provide ideas, tools, resources to support care and activity staff in developing creative interactions with residents in order to alleviate some of the feelings of loneliness and isolation that we know people are experiencing as a result of the social distancing measures that we need to follow because of the pandemic. As well as the creative activity materials, as Victoria mentioned, there will also be resources to assist in the communication of the most up-to-date public health information. In providing these, members of our team who have long experience in this area, so Lynn Fair and Gail Elliott, are working with staff in care homes to make sure that the information that we share with you is both up to date, which is of course really important, and also appropriate for communicating with those living with dementia. The public health information includes 2 books, one for care homes and one for Black and Asian communities within care homes, and also COVID communication posters to support those living with dementia, and guidance on how to use these resources. So for example, how you might go about running a book club. As Victoria has said, at the beginning of the project, you'll receive your culture box, which will be a kind of storage container. This will be something that you can keep the physical resources in as they arrive, which will happen once a month. There'll also be some resources that are digital, and these will be available weekly, following up on the physical resources with suggestions and activities. The resources are going to focus on one-to-one activities that the pairs of people who are taking part can explore together. The materials that we will send you are going to be across different art forms and different cultural forms, including music, drawing, painting, photography, dance and movement, and objects for you to explore together. We're aiming for the activities and resources to be relevant for a wide range of people. And there'll also be a range of different ways for care and activities staff to approach working with the materials. So some things might be kind of step-by-step or how-to guides. Other things will be things that we hope will just give you inspiration to maybe do your own thing a bit. We'll also be sharing some of the ideas and resources from some other organisations that have created things that we think might be interesting and useful for you. Vanessa, I don't know whether you could share that slide now that has some of those resources on there. Great, thank you. The organisation Live Music Now, which some of you might be familiar with already, has created a series of recorded online musical performances with a range of different instruments and different types of music, which is one of the things that we can share with you. Another organisation called Drawing Life have developed some great ideas for working with the visual arts. And over here on the left of the screen, you can see an example of some of the public health material that's been developed as well to support the project as well. Thanks very much, Vanessa. If you could. So one of the other things that we will also be working with is the BBC Music Memories website, which I think is going to be especially valuable because of its collection of music from many different countries all over the world. So culture and the arts can be really useful in supporting relationship-centred care. They can be a really wonderful way of getting to know each other, finding out what makes each other tick, what people's likes and dislikes are, and a really good way for us to feel things together. You know, I'm sure we've all been moved by seeing something beautiful or been uplifted by a particular song or piece of music. We can share that experience with other people when we do it together, whether that's part of a big crowd or whether it's one-to-one. I think that one of the things that we all need to bear in mind with this project is that culture is both a shared experience, but also a personal one. So some of the things that we suggest will resonate and be meaningful for one person, but not for another. You know, there isn't a one size fits all, and that's really the point of this. So care and activity staff shouldn't feel that they have to persist with things that aren't engaging for somebody, but that they can develop and they can explore and go further with some of the things that are. The whole idea is for each pair of people to get to know one another better. So that's going to involve getting to know each other's dislikes, finding where the common ground is and enjoying that, but also enjoying the differences too. As the project progresses, it's going to be really important to hear your feedback about the boxes and the materials so that we can make changes and adjustments as we go, as well as seeing and hearing some of the things that carers and residents do together with the materials. The boxes and the digital deliveries continue for 12 months, so there's going to be time for us to share and to learn together. So this is, after all, a research project. We don't have all the answers at this point, and it's going to be really interesting to work together with you to find out what works best. Thanks very much. I'll pass back to Victoria.
Thank you, Julian. I hope that you found that interesting, and thank you for listening. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the project, I'll show you some information about how you can get in contact with us and follow us on social media. Thank you for your time, and we really look forward to hearing from you.